Like, this game is actually good if you just run the game with the buster. Everything I say is based on my own opinions and experience. I'm not speaking for the public, and my feedback should be treated as such. You are watching Nico Evaluates. With 25 years of experience on Mega Man games, 7 years of doing the No Miss Buster Only challenge, and countless Snupster Races, as well as being the QA tester for Mega Man Unlimited, I'm here to tell you my honest opinion on different Mega Man games. So sit tight and learn. Hello people and welcome back to Nico Evaluates Mega Man 2. Heart rate is about to go out probably because of the batteries running out. I forgot to charge it. What the fuck's that sound upstairs? I'm gonna choke a baby. Alright, let's check Heatman stage. There's not much we can talk about this stage. I mean really, it's very simple. It's full of tellies and I think the stage layout works for the most part. I don't have my codes enabled. Let's see the magic happen. Let's go to cheats, enable them all. There we go. I love how that's instant. Anyway. This stage is all about timing. I think all of these things are placed pretty well. And there's enough time to see those enemies drop down the ceiling holes there. So that's well designed as well. This is one of the easiest stages in the game if you know the Yoku block patterns in it. It's a very cute time. As you can see, the hitbox is a bit off there. The absolute bottom and top, I think, of the tellies are not exactly hitboxes. This is a rather difficult jump here. Can be done, you can also scroll these off the screen. So we're just gonna plow through this stage, because there's really not much to say here. I think all in all this stage works pretty well. I would have probably put more enemies here. Some of these enemies serve absolutely no purpose at all, unless you're very slow. But it's a nice thing to put these walls down here for the crash bomb, so you can use that to pass these walls. But really the crash bomb is just garbage in my opinion. Because it doesn't really, it doesn't help you against enemies. So it's a bit, like yeah, it's, I think the worst weapon in this game. If we don't count, of course, Bubble Lead, which I think they share the same placement for. They have a tie between the worst weapons in the game. Because really, Bubble Lead doesn't hurt anyone. If I had to make up something negative about this, it's the fact that it's so boring. It's just long stretches of just walking. And I did the felon strategy there. I don't even, like, I don't know. Maybe this is a bit rough to do that for the player. Like that part there, it's a bit it's just another case of learning as you die. So I'm not for that specifically there. But this stage really doesn't have a lot going on. We've already evaluated all of those enemies that we saw. And the stage just... it's almost as short as Gutsman and Flashman. It's just an easy stage that just flows and already you're done with it. I really like the lava animation on the stage. It looks very crisp. I think it fits the stage design. I like the background and pretty much there's maybe a bit too much pink, but otherwise I think the stage design works very well. It's pleasing to the eye, so to speak. I could go into detail how tellies spawn, but we also have a video on that on our Snupster channel. I'll link it as well, so you can go check it out if you wanna know how these guys work. But what comes to this stage, they are well put together. The way that this screen has been set up, it's kinda easy to despawn these, so I would have probably thought about this again. Because you can really scum this. Doesn't really matter, but I guess it's cool to have that polish in your game. It's extremely easy to despawn these, like the lower one despawns like that and the upper one as well. It's so easy to do that by accident as well. But not a big problem. I believe we're looking at one of the better stages in the game. Although I think this stage lacks variety, it's just very... It's like boring to me. This could be hectic to someone else. Maybe I am biased in that regard because I am used to speedrunning and perfect running this game to some extent. Of course, Mega Man 2 is not one of my stronger titles by any stretch of the imagination, it's one of my weaker ones. We do have a bug in this part where if you accidentally... I think you hold left and you just zip through the block. Let's see. Yep, like that. So don't get stuck inside a Yoku block or you're pretty much dead. I'm not sure why that bug happens. It's probably because the block is taking Mega Man's sprite space and it no longer exists. And the game has to put you somewhere, so it pushes you out of the block. That's a nasty bug, or a nasty design, which they could have easily fixed here by placing these blocks a bit differently here. Or just don't put the pit right next to them. So some minor changes could have been done on this stage, but for the most part it's not really that bad. Of course, everyone knows about this part and how difficult it is. If you're a newcomer, you pretty much have to die on this a couple of times to learn it. There's no way you're gonna know that the fourth block after this stretch here is gonna be like this. There's no way you'd know that. You just have to die, and that's something that I don't like. Teaching the player after they've died is something that I can't get behind. You should always teach the player in a way where it doesn't damage or at least doesn't kill them, because that's a bit scummy. But I loved what they did with the sprites here on the left wall. As you can see, the bricks kind of look like they are laid, so there's a little transparent edge. I think it's a black edge on it. I could be wrong, but very nice effect anyway. Makes the wall look alive. What a nice way to make that happen. I don't know why they couldn't do it on the right side wall there, but it only looks as it's only been done on the left side. Probably a limitation on the sprites or something. Don't ask me, I'm not those kind of guys who should be asking about those things. I'm just here to review a game. And so far Metal Man and Heat Man are... okay. I mean, Metal Man's stage is pretty good. This stage suffers from boredom, in my opinion, and lack of enemy variety. It's just very linear. There's not much to it. It's just... we could have been fine without this stage. The beginning of Heat Man here is very peculiar because there's only a handful of ways to dodge that fire attack. One way is to just jump right, a full jump right when the battle starts, and that's how you dodge the fires. It's a bit weird. Weird way to code an enemy to do that kind of an attack right from the get-go as you step into the room. But otherwise, if you just keep shooting him before he does anything, he becomes Toad Man. He can't really do much. So there's different frame intervals when he'll charge at you. Like that was the fastest one, I think. And you just have to wait and see what he does. And how soon he attacks you. But I think Heat Man... one of the more lackluster designs in this game. As a fire robot master, you could have done so much more with it. Not just have 2 attacks on him. Because that is a bit ridiculous. I would have had at least 3 or 4 different attacks. It just seems like this guy was rushed to hell. Only thing he can do is the Dive Man dive. And the little fire attack like that. Which is never gonna hit you if you keep shooting him, because he'll never do it. So basically he's just a one-hit wonder here. You keep shooting at him before he fires the little flame pillars, and that's pretty much it. You just keep doing this. It's easy to figure out. And luckily, what's good about this is Bubble Lead is actually kind of a cool weakness. Actually works pretty well. So that stage is pretty much out of our hands to evaluate, if I'm being completely honest. There's not much to say. There's nothing really wrong about that stage, and there's nothing really anything good about it. So it's just kind of there. In my opinion, Heatman stage could not as very well not exist. If I was testing the game, I would have probably said just redo the whole stage, make something better. You can definitely make a better stage. So it's kind of just there. It's an easy starter. So you get item 1 from Heatman. So luckily you can still use item 2 to pass those blocks. So at least that's well designed there. Not really any sense in trying different weapons on the stage. There's so little enemies, and we already tried most of our weapons on those same enemies. So this stage just recycles the enemies we've already seen. I mean, why are the hot heads from Quickman stage not on this stage? I mean, they are made of fire, so that would make sense that they would be on this stage, but I'm not sure why that is. Well, it's Airman, and he's giving us the pain. Alright. Love what they did with the clouds. Nice animations. Don't know what's up with the ground here, don't know what these faces are supposed to be. It's kind of disturbing actually, I don't understand these sprites. But then again, I don't have to. Probably some Japanese bullshit again. Bubble lead, of course, again, not useful. Why would bubble lead be useful? Everything else pretty much kills these guys. Actually, should we try this actually here? Should we try using the nope. The spikes, ding it. As expected. Nothing works on them. So really, using weapons here other than Metal Blade, there's no use. Just use Metal Blade and you're fine. Of course. Oh, you were expecting use another weapon here? You could use the quick boomerang, of course. They're they are both equally broken, so whatever floats your weapon boat, so to speak. I think these are pretty fun. Fun enemies. Kill them and ride their clouds. I think that's a fun design, and I like how you go behind the cloud here. Bit rough to get those shots in before they throw the lightning bolts, but it's nothing too bad. I actually like this part. Shame you can't really utilize weapons well. Or rather, why would you utilize weapons? You can just buster these. You could try Leaf Shield, of course. Let's see if the Leaf Shield blocks those bolts. I don't think it does. I don't think the Leaf Shield blocks anything in this game. Well, there we go. Went a bit too far. Alright, let's see. Nice. So this actually might be a viable weapon to use here. Actually quite liking this. So let's see what the air shooter does here. Should be able to kill him. Nice. So this is exactly what I mean. This is what I mean. This is how you use your game and design the levels and enemies around weapons. This is how you do it. That's well thought out. At least I'm hoping they thought that out. Because up until this point it just looks like they made the weapon weaknesses completely at random. Didn't even think about it. So that's kind of sad. A little bit of a secret path here, of course. This is where you are supposed to go. But I don't like the screen for the fact that you don't know where to go. Most people are gonna go here first, and there's nothing here. And all of these sides of the screen are open as well, and you can't go there. So you're supposed to go here. It's not a challenge, it's just playing tricks on the player. I'm not sure I like that design. Although this is kinda cool, you can land on the side of the spike. That's a well-designed hitbox in my opinion. You would not think at first that this was possible, but yet it is. That allows people to speedrun as well. So I'm really happy that's there. Then we have the fan fellows here. It's a fun enemy, although doesn't do much. They're not placed in such a way where they would actually hurt you in any way. Here you have to... So the level design in Heatman and Airman is a bit boring in my opinion, and we just scroll that enemy off the screen. So easy to scroll him off. There we go. So this is the only fan enemy that's actually in your way. All of the others are just kind of there, showcasing what they do and kind of teaching you as you go. Like this is a new enemy and this is what it does before it throws you in a situation like this. So that's a good design. Just a shame it scrolls off the screen so easily. You don't really get to see that challenge. But Heatman and Airman, and there's the bug where the items vanish off the screen if there's well, in some cases if there's too many items on the screen at the same time they vanish. But sometimes like that, there weren't any items on the screen and it still vanished. But the problem with Heatman and Airman, I think, in this game is that they're extremely, I think, boring in a sense. It's just long stretches of just walking forward, really not much happening. Maybe I'm failing to see the challenge or something, but maybe I fail to see the level design for what it is, but that's just my opinion. I think these levels are extremely linear in the sense. So Airman has some bullshit patterns, like this one. Very hard to dodge that one. I really don't like when some of these patterns are... I really don't like patterns like that where you really can't dodge them easily, like this one. How the fuck are you supposed to... I think you can dodge that one. I think you can dodge all of these, but it's just so difficult. Can't defeat Airman no matter how hard I try. Why is your pulse so high? Well, I just ate. It's none of your business. Actually it is, because it's on the screen, well thought out. But like I said, really the Buster is probably one of the better weapons in this stage. Funnily enough, because most of the weapons, like I said, are pretty much garbage. There's no real sense in using weapons on this stage. And there's no real need either. Just goes to show how bad they are. This is the era of... This is the era of... Oh! These clouds have the magnet beam as well. So many things have it. Like look at the Mega Man's legs when we were going down. It's the fucking footholder mechanics. Huh. That is actually quite funny. You never noticed that either. Well, we don't drop through these. And it is because the velocity problem has been fixed. I'm pretty sure of it right now. All of the puzzle pieces point to that fact. So I'm happy we figured that out eventually. I think all of these are in a good order here. There's nothing too bad about them. Unless you try like using a weapon on them. Then you might have some problems. Like this game would have been... Like this game is actually good if you just run the game with the Buster. That's how you get the most out of this game, in my opinion. Metal Blade is too easy, Quick Boomerang is a bit too gimmicky. It's not that fun to use. So, my best experience of Mega Man 2 comes from using the Buster. I mean, if you only thought about this game if you only thought about this game in a way where you only had the Buster, this would actually be a pretty good game. But because they fucked up the weapons, it's really not. Like, this Mega Man is still in the era of let's make you have different weapons but not really utilize them in the stages. They only realized that on partly on Mega Man 3, but most definitely on Mega Man 4. That game makes an excellent... and I'm not trying to compare here. All I'm saying is that they only started using the weapons in the stages as well in Mega Man 4. That's when they understood, hey, maybe we can make a use of them in the stages as well. As opposed to just the boss. Which is kind of what they did here. They want you to mostly run with the Buster and then use the weapons on the bosses. I get that, but man, does it show when you look at the other games as well. It's inferior in that regard. So Airman has some patterns that are nearly impossible to avoid, like that one. I think it can be avoided, my mind is escaping me now, but I think I've done it as well. You can indeed avoid all of the patterns. What are you looking at me, cat? Explain your business. You can't just sit there and stare at me. Say something. What's up? Why are you looking at me like that? Well, they say that if a cat stares their owner, that means they love them. So I'll take it. Keep staring there, milady. In any case, we can try to avoid these patterns. In my opinion, some of these patterns are just garbage. You should not have patterns like this in your boss. This is kind of like Iceman version 2. It's really like Iceman Evolved or something. I guess it's kind of fun, but some of the patterns are just scummy. You have to be so precise, like that's nearly impossible to avoid that one. Yeah, I think we avoided it in the Snupster as well at some point. And I think I avoided the hardest pattern on my no miss challenge. But as it is, I really don't think this is a good... It's a fun boss, yes, but just some of the patterns, like how the fuck do you dodge that? Oh, like you barely have enough time to go to the other side when he does that, if you're not prepared. You have to be running already, like here. You have to be prepared for that, and then you barely make it back. Nope. Like still, even with my experience, I can barely dodge these. You need practice on this if you really want to dodge these, but then again, he takes 2 damage, so it's pretty much you just trade blows. That's what it is. And one other thing I don't like about this boss is that in addition of just you and him trading blows, the weakness is fucking garbage. Again, the weakness dings off of the little air shooters. So what you're really trying to do here is you can't really shoot at him like this. You can't shoot between the air shooters. So you just have to wait here and just spam him to death like this. Like, how is that fun? Oh, and then we got the bug here. Yes, yes. Leave the scene, please. But again, I don't like weaknesses where there's a gimmick into it. Weakness is what it stands for. A weakness. It should not be gimmicky to use or almost impossible to use. This is not a weakness. This is just... You're treating the player like fucking garbage. This is not a weakness. They are laughing at you for even trying this. I can imagine they were laughing at this idea. Let's make the leaf shield the fucking weakness because it's so fun. Because it doesn't work well. Like, I can see that. I can see them fucking laughing at this. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try anymore to dodge that. So you just spam the weakness when he jumps on you. So not when you would expect. Like, you would expect that you could shoot him when he's on the other side. But you can't shoot him on the other side because the air shooters are in the way. So you just have to wait until he gets here and take damage meanwhile. In most cases anyway. And what a lousy weakness. Still fun to watch those tornadoes. A mediocre stage. Boss. Don't really understand all of this and how all of this makes sense. It probably just doesn't. That's the gist of it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like if you agreed on what I said, but if you disagreed, leave a dislike, and I'll catch you later.